April 12, 2025. Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady left San Juan, Puerto Rico, on its repositioning cruise across the Atlantic Ocean, on its way from the Caribbean to Europe, with intended ports of call in Morocco and Spain, with the disembarkation at Barcelona on April 26th. On board were 3,930 souls, 1,160 crew members, and 2,777 guests. As the ship set sail as scheduled at 8 p.m., guests cheerfully waved goodbye to San Juan's pristine beaches and the fortress Castillo San Felipe del Morro. As they drank free champagne at the castaway party, they were looking forward to a 14-night cruise, full of relaxation, gourmet food, and exceptional entertainment provided by the Happenings cast. However, before they were to reach their first intended port of call in Tenerife, the largest of Spain's Canary Islands, the Resilient Lady had to traverse the Atlantic Ocean, which meant 8 days at sea, without land in sight, only the occasional glimpse of another vessel, or an occasional dolphin. Little did they know that during this time at sea, they would become witnesses to strange and unusual phenomena, captured by numerous passengers and staff on board, on their high-quality cell phone cameras, providing evidence to these happenings. This became known by ancient alien theorists as the Test Kitchen event. How could it be that one course of a gourmet meal made of simple peas and an egg yolk could so strikingly resemble iconography used by ancient people to represent the universe in such faraway places as India, Africa, South America, and Australia? Is it possible that the chefs aboard Virgin Voyages' Resilient Lady could have gotten this knowledge from extraterrestrials millions of years ago? Ancient alien theorists say yes, and they point to the writings of world-renowned comic-on-speaker and science fiction author, Damn I'm Batshit Karzy, in his book, What If I Put My Toe Up My Nose?, where in Chapter 7 he states that it is not possible for any human who has ever lived to come up with a food this disgusting without extraterrestrial help. And he has proof, citing British boiled beef and potatoes as evidence.
Archaeologists claim that humans have been cooking meat for more than 50,000 years. There's even evidence that Neanderthals also may have cooked their meat over open flames, and it tastes delicious. The question is why ancient people who inhabited what is now known as Great Britain would stop cooking their meat over open flames and start boiling it. This makes no sense at all. I mean, the human tongue would always much prefer to eat meat cooked over an open flame. Why then did the ancient people of the British Isles start to boil meat when it tastes so much worse? The answer is obvious. It's because they witnessed aliens boiling their meals, and they copied this manner of cooking to mimic the actions of their gods. Otherwise they would have continued to cook their meat the way that humans instinctively prefer. Without any external force compelling them to boil meat, no human would ever have made this transition of their own accord.
You have to ask yourself, why? Why boil? I mean, what human could ever come up with the idea to add fire to water? This is a completely alien concept.
Stonehenge? This enigmatic structure has fascinated and perplexed historians and archaeologists for decades. Most believe that ancient Druids used it as a celestial observatory. But could it be that it was just a support for an enormous pot that giants used to boil their meat in by burning a fire within its circular center?
Stonehenge was supposedly built by the Druids before the First Epoch, during Cordovian times, 3 decades before ants had a privoplasma that allowed them to digest dirt. The problem comes with the fact that even to this day no one can eat cabbage without having gas. Gas is the American term for what the rest of the world calls benzene. Could it be that Native Americans knew that gas and cabbage were somehow connected.
Ancient alien theorists say yes, and they point to the fact that the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. is hiding a big human skull inside a storage cabinet, rather than displaying it to the public.
Now, I'm not saying that aliens are responsible for this coincidence. All I'm saying is that if we step back and open our minds to the possibility that humans are too stupid to come up with any ideas on our own or invent things, and we need aliens to give us ideas like showing us how to move big rocks, then and only then we humans can come up with ideas and invent things. With that in mind, it's obvious that the logical answer to any question you may have is extraterrestrial aliens.
Could it be that the Smithsonian is purposefully hiding giant ruins alongside the Grand Canyon to protect evidence that reptilian aliens are dwelling inside? And could it be that this underground complex is connected by a hypersonic underground train network to an enormous multi-level underground complex at Dulce, New Mexico, where reptilian aliens perform inhumane experiments upon American citizens? Ancient alien theorists say yes, and they point to the fact that Lockheed Martin filed a patent for a machine that uses lasers to melt rock. Coincidence? Ancient alien theorists say it's highly unlikely based upon the fact that the ruins at Pumapunku have no trees around them.
Pumapunku is so incredible. Archaeologists and scientists have been studying it for decades using scientific methods and have come up with the ludicrous idea that humans built it. But what if? Alien, based upon absolutely nothing but our feelings. What about that? Because they're using science and math and things? Well, our theories aren't just made up out of nothing. We read them in a science fiction book. Science. You have to ask yourself, why put science in front of fiction if it isn't science? Well, it is.
After experiencing this horrifying sight in the test kitchen, later that evening, guests became witness to other chilling alien encounters. While watching an exciting show being performed by the Happenings cast, the scene took an extraterrestrial turn, as beings wearing reflective, almost mirror-like clothing suddenly appeared and began to move wildly, as if they were attempting to communicate with the human audience. Mesmerized guests were temporarily stunned as guests left, desperately trying to make sense of what they had just experienced. The ship's white lighting transformed into a deep scarlet hue, bathing everyone on board in an eerie red glow. Then everyone felt the impulse to begin dancing, as strange music blared from all corners of the vessel. A strange rhythmic song, whose lyrics seemed to sound like, "Smack the bitch up the ass." What exactly were the aliens attempting to communicate to the humans on board with this sensory onslaught? Ancient alien theorists think they know the answer, and they point to the Moai at Easter Island for clues. We now invite you to join the Happenings cast as we explore the absurd quest to associate every historical and mundane event with extraterrestrial life forms. Without further ado, Virgin Voyages is proud to present Ancient Absurdities, an exploration of the conspiracy theories of the unknown.